The landlord is knocking at the door. The rent is up another $200. The electric bill is skyrocketing. You are looking at your bank account, realizing that the math of modern survival simply does not work anymore. You are paying thousands of dollars a year just to exist in a box that you will never own. But there is an escape hatch. It has wheels. Millions of Americans are realizing that if they cut the anchor of a permanent address, they can cut their cost of living in half. We are talking about full-time RV living, not the Instagram version with a model doing yoga in a Sprinter van. I am talking about the reality of survival, trading a mortgage for a cheap lot rent. The problem is most of America hates you. Cities ban sleeping in vehicles. They put up height barriers. They send police to knock on your window at 2 a.m. You need a safe harbor. We have analyzed local ordinances and park prices to find the 10 towns in America that actually welcome full-time RVers. From the winter havens of Arizona to the legal sanctuaries of Texas, here is where you can survive on Social Security. Number 10. Crossville, Tennessee. Located high on the Cumberland Plateau, Crossville bills itself as the golf capital of Tennessee. But don't let that country club branding fool you. Underneath the manicured surface, this is one of the most affordable and strategic hubs for RVers in the eastern United States. While the coast of Florida and the mountains of North Carolina have become prohibitively expensive for RV lots, often charging upwards of $1,200 a month for a concrete pad, Crossville remains a budget sanctuary. Geographically, it is perfect. You are sitting right on Interstate 40, halfway between Nashville and Knoxville. But because you are up on the plateau at 2,000 feet elevation, the humidity is significantly lower than the rest of the South. In the summer, while the rest of Tennessee is suffocating in sticky heat, Crossville is breezy and tolerable. This makes it a viable option for year-round living, which is rare in this region without spending a fortune on air conditioning electricity. You can actually open your windows here in August, which is unheard of in Nashville. The RV infrastructure here is massive. Because of its location, it has a high density of RV parks, ranging from luxury resorts like Deer Run to budget-friendly gravel lots tucked into the woods. Competition keeps the prices down. You can still find monthly rates here that fit within a meager Social Security check. It is also home to a massive deeded RV lot community called The Gardens, where you can buy a small plot of land with full hookups and a storage shed for a fraction of the cost of a house. This allows you to have a home base where you legally own the dirt under your tires, giving you a permanent mailing address and a place to retreat to when you are tired of the road. But here is the catch. It is Tornado Alley. The Cumberland Plateau has a history of severe weather. When you live in a fiberglass box, a tornado warning is not just a news alert, it is a life or death event. You need to know exactly where the storm shelter is in your park. You need a weather radio that screams at you in the middle of the night. Also, the winters can be surprisingly biting. It doesn't snow a lot, but the wind chill on the plateau cuts right through the thin insulation of an older camper. You will burn through propane in January trying to keep your pipes from freezing, often needing to skirt your rig with foam board to survive the nights. And culturally, while the RV community is strong, the local town is very conservative and slow-paced. If you need nightlife or high-speed excitement, you will be bored to tears in a week. But if you want a stable, affordable base in the center of the country, Crossville is the smart play. Number 9. Branson, Missouri. You probably know Branson as the Vegas of the Bible Belt. It is famous for country music shows, neon lights, and family-friendly tourism. But for the full-time RVer, Branson is a secret weapon. Because it is a tourism hub built around an older demographic, the entire town is engineered to accommodate large vehicles and retirees on a budget. There are huge parking lots everywhere, wider turns, and services designed for big rigs. You won't get stuck in a McDonald's drive-thru here. There are dozens of RV parks scattered through the Ozark Hills surrounding the city. In the summer, these are packed with tourists paying nightly rates. But in the off-season, which is roughly November through March, these parks empty out. To keep cash flowing, many of them offer incredibly low monthly winter rates. We are talking about full hookups, water, sewer, electric, for prices that would barely cover a few nights in a hotel elsewhere. It is one of the cheapest places to park a rig in the Midwest during the winter months. The landscape is rugged and beautiful. You are nestled in the trees, close to Table Rock Lake for fishing. The cost of groceries and fuel in Missouri is consistently among the lowest in the nation. Plus, there is no shortage of part-time work, often called work camping. If you need to supplement your income, the theaters, theme parks like Silver Dollar City, and attractions are always hiring seasonal help for ticket-taking, ushering, or security. This allows you to pay your lot rent with a part-time gig and save your Social Security check. However, the catch is the terrain and the traffic. Branson is hilly. steeply hilly. Dragging a 40-foot fifth wheel up and down these winding grades can destroy your transmission and overheat your brakes if you aren't careful. The roads are narrow and often clogged with tourists who don't know where they are going. Traffic jams here are legendary and frustrating, especially on the Strip, Highway 76. And then there is the weather catch. The winters are gray, wet, and raw. Ice storms are common. Living in an RV during an ice storm is a terrifying experience. Trees snap under the weight of the ice and fall on roofs. When the power goes out, and it will, your electric heater dies. If you don't have a backup buddy heater and plenty of propane, you are in trouble. Condensation becomes your enemy. The walls of your RV will sweat, leading to mold behind your cabinets if you don't run a dehumidifier constantly. Also, the tourism vibe can get exhausting. It is loud. It is tacky. If you hate crowds, you have to stay far outside the city limits. But for sheer affordability and amenities, Branson punches way above its weight. Number 8. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. This entry is unique because you might not actually live here year-round, but you need this town to survive legally. Sioux Falls is the paperwork capital of the nomad world. When you live in an RV full-time, you have a major legal problem. You don't have a domicile. You don't have a physical address to put on your driver's license, your bank account, or your voting registration. You become a ghost in the system, which makes everything from insurance to banking impossible. South Dakota has aggressively courted full-time RVers by making it incredibly easy to establish residency. You stay one night in a campground or hotel, show a receipt, and boom, you are a resident. There is no state income tax, which instantly gives you a raise. There are mail forwarding services here, like America's Mailbox or Dakota Post, that are massive industries. They give you a street address, not a P.O. box, receive your mail, scan it, and email it to you while you are parked in Arizona or Florida. But people do actually stay here in the summer. The city is clean, safe, and has excellent medical facilities, which is a huge priority for aging RVers. The parks around the Big Sioux River are stunning. It has a very middle America safety vibe that appeals to many. The roads are wide, the people are friendly, and the diesel prices are reasonable. The catch, obviously, is winter. Do not, under any circumstances, try to winter in an RV in Sioux Falls, unless you have a death wish or a specialized 4-season rig with heated tanks and skirting. It gets to 20 below zero. Your pipes will freeze solid. Your diesel fuel will gel in the tank, meaning your engine won't start. Your batteries will die. This is a summer destination only. You come here in July, do your paperwork, get your license plates, see the doctor, and then you leave before the snow flies. The other catch is the paper citizen stigma. Banks and insurance companies are starting to crack down on South Dakota mail forwarding addresses. Some RVers are finding it harder to get vehicle insurance or open investment accounts because the Patriot Act flagging systems recognize these addresses as commercial mail drops rather than real homes. You might find your bank account frozen until you can prove you actually exist. You need to be aware that the legal loophole might be tightening. But for now, Sioux Falls is the administrative heart of the RV nation. Number 7. Alamogordo, New Mexico. Let's head west to the high desert. Alamogordo is best known for two things: the Trinity Site, where the first atomic bomb was tested, and White Sands National Park. For the RVer, it represents a sweet spot of climate and cost that is hard to beat. Unlike the scorching low deserts of Phoenix, Alamogordo sits at an elevation that makes it livable for most of the year. Located in the Tularosa Basin, Alamogordo is surrounded by military land and public land. There are ample opportunities for boondocking, camping for free without hookups on BLM land nearby, specifically areas like Lake Holloman or Dog Canyon. Lake Holloman is a particularly famous spot where you can park right next to the water for free. Though be warned, the water is treated wastewater, so don't swim in it. If you prefer parks, the monthly rates in town are significantly cheaper than Las Cruces or Albuquerque. The weather here is the selling point. It is high desert, so while it gets hot, it cools down beautifully at night. The winters are mild. You might get a dusting of snow, but it melts by noon. You can live here year-round comfortably without spending a fortune on AC or propane. Plus, you have a massive Air Force base nearby, which means the town has stable infrastructure, good roads, and a decent hospital. The catch is the military-industrial vibe. You are living next to Holloman Air Force Base. You will hear jets, loud ones, F-16s breaking the sound barrier, or doing sorties at all hours of the day and night. The ground shakes. To some, it's the sound of freedom. To others, it's a sleep disturbance that rattles your dishes. You have to be okay with noise. Water is also an issue here. It is hard water, full of minerals like calcium and magnesium. It will calcify your RV water heater and clog your faucets in months if you don't use a serious filtration system or a water softener. You will see white crust on everything. And geographically, you are isolated. El Paso is an hour and a half away. If you need specialized parts for your rig or a specific specialist doctor, you are driving a long way. It is a dusty, quiet, functional town. It isn't sexy, but it works. Number 6. Bushnell, Florida. Florida is the dream for RVers, but the coast has become a nightmare of high prices and overcrowding. If you try to book a site in the Keys or Sarasota in January, you need to win the lottery or pay $3,000 a month. Enter Bushnell. Located in Sumter County, in the center of the state, Bushnell is the logistical hub for the Florida RV lifestyle. It is home to the Escapes Florida Park, Sumter Oaks, which is a massive co-op run by and for RVers. But beyond that, the entire area is dotted with pasture land RV parks that cater to the working-class snowbird. You are an hour from Orlando and an hour from Tampa, but you are paying rural prices. You can park here for the winter without going bankrupt. It's strategic, close enough to the theme parks for the grandkids to visit, but far enough away to afford dinner. The landscape is old Florida. Live oaks, cattle ranches, and Spanish moss. It is quiet. The swap meet at Webster nearby is legendary. A massive flea market where you can buy everything from fresh produce to used RV parts. It feels like a community. The catch is that it is the unsexy Florida. You are not near the beach. You are in the middle of a cow pasture. The scenery is flat and repetitive. And because it is inland, the bugs in the summer are intense. We are talking about love bugs that swarm so thick they clog your radiator and paint your windshield black. We are talking about mosquitoes that laugh at bug spray. You will spend a lot of time indoors during bug season. Also, you are near the Villages, the massive retirement community. This drives up traffic and creates a weird social dynamic where the wealthy retirees in golf carts clash with the budget RVers in older rigs. You are close to the amenities, but you are definitely on the wrong side of the tracks financially. And don't forget hurricanes. Even inland, you are vulnerable. If a Category 4 hits the Gulf, Bushnell gets hammered with wind and rain. You need an evacuation plan that doesn't involve hoping for the best. You need to know when to pull in your slides and run north. Number 5. Livingston, Texas. If Sioux Falls is the paperwork capital of the North, Livingston is the capital of the South. This small town in East Texas is the headquarters of the Escapees RV Club, the largest support organization for full-time travelers. Because of this, Livingston is essentially built around the needs of people who live in vehicles. Like South Dakota, Texas has no state income tax, making it a financial haven. Establishing a domicile here is a streamlined process that thousands have done. The local voting officials, the jury duty clerks, and the mail service providers all understand the RV lifestyle. You are not a weirdo here. You are the norm. You won't get the side eye when you explain you live in a trailer. This psychological comfort is worth a lot. The Escapes Park, Rainbow's End, offers a unique feature: deeded lots and long-term leases with a care center. This is an assisted living facility specifically for RVers who can no longer travel but want to stay in their community. It is a level of social safety net that exists nowhere else in the country. It answers the terrifying question, what happens when I can't drive the RV anymore? The catch is the East Texas climate. This is not the dry desert. This is the humid, piney woods. It rains a lot. Mud is a constant battle. Your RV will turn green with algae and mold on the outside if you don't wash it constantly. In the summer, the humidity is oppressive. You will run your AC 24/7, and your electric bill will sting. And tornadoes again. East Texas gets violent storms coming off the Gulf. Also, the town of Livingston itself is a bit rough around the edges. It has a high poverty rate and a prison nearby. It is not a manicured resort town. It is a functional, blue-collar base of operations. But for legal protection and community support, it is unrivaled. Number 4. Pahrump, Nevada. Welcome to the libertarian paradise. Located an hour west of Las Vegas, over the mountain range sits Pahrump. For years, Pahrump was the butt of jokes. It was where people went to do things that were illegal in Vegas. But for the RV community, it has become a gold mine. There are luxury RV resorts here like Lakeside Casino where you can own a lot, and there are dusty gravel parks where you can live for cheap. The appeal is freedom and proximity. You are close enough to Vegas for world-class medical care, cheap flights, and entertainment, but you are far enough away to avoid the crime and traffic. The weather is classic Mojave Desert. Mild winters, sunny days. Pahrump is very friendly to RVs. You see them everywhere. The local culture is strictly live and let live. If you want to park a converted school bus on a piece of dirt and build a compound, Pahrump is the place to do it. The catch is the heat. Summer temperatures hit 115 degrees. If you are in an RV, that is dangerous. Your AC units will struggle to keep up. You might have to migrate north in July and August because your rig simply cannot stay cool enough to be safe. It becomes a health hazard for pets and the elderly. And it is windy. The wind comes off the mountains and shakes rigs violently. You will need to pull in your awnings constantly to keep them from ripping off. The other catch is the aesthetic. Pahrump is brown. It is dirt lots, chain-link fences, and casinos. It is not pretty in the traditional sense. It has a gritty frontier vibe that some people love and some people find depressing. Water is also a major concern in the long term, as the aquifer is being drained rapidly. But for now, it remains one of the most popular home bases in the West. Number 3. Benson, Arizona. Everyone knows about Tucson and Phoenix, but those cities are getting expensive and crowded. 45 minutes east of Tucson lies Benson. Benson is the gateway to the San Pedro Valley. It is slightly higher in elevation than Tucson, which means it is slightly cooler. It is a major transportation hub, with the railroad running through it, and it has a cluster of RV parks that are surprisingly affordable. Why here? Because it offers the Arizona winter experience without the Phoenix price. You are surrounded by mountains. You are near the legendary Kartchner Caverns. You can take a day trip to the ghost town of Tombstone. The Escapes have a park here too, called SKP Saguaro, which is famous for its tiered layout where every RV has a view of the valley. It is a quiet, older community that feels safe. The catch is the train. The Union Pacific line runs right through the middle of town, and I mean right through it. The trains run all night, blowing their horns at the crossings. If you are a light sleeper, you need to pick your park carefully, or you will be waking up to a horn blast at 3 a.m. that shakes your bed. The vibration is real. It is also a dusty town. The wind kicks up dust storms that coat everything in a fine layer of grit. You will be dusting your interior every single day. And medically, the local hospital is small. For anything serious, you are driving to Tucson. But if you want a quiet desert community where you can sit out under your awning in February in a t-shirt, Benson is the budget alternative. Number 2. Slab City, California. We cannot make this list without addressing the elephant in the room. The last free place. Slab City is not a town in the legal sense. It is an abandoned Dwechuai Marine barracks in the Sonoran Desert near the Salton Sea. The concrete slabs of the old buildings remain, and on them a squatter city has risen. There is no charge to park here. You can stay forever. It is the ultimate destination for the destitute RVer who has absolutely zero money left for rent. There are art installations like Salvation Mountain. There is a music venue called The Range where locals perform every Saturday night. There is a library. It is a functioning anarchy. There is even a neighborhood called East Jesus filled with surreal sculptures made of trash. But the catch is everything. There is no law enforcement. There is no water. There is no sewer. There is no electricity. You are completely off-grid. You haul your waste out, or you deal with it in ways we won't discuss. There is no trash pickup, so people burn their garbage, filling the air with toxic smoke. Drugs are rampant. Methamphetamine is a serious problem in the area. Theft is common. If you leave your generator unlocked, it will be gone in 5 minutes. The heat in the summer is lethal. 120 degrees is normal. People die here from exposure every year, and the vibe is anarchy. It can be a beautiful community of artists, but it can also be a dangerous place for a single person who isn't street smart. The nearby town of Nyland is impoverished and crumbling. This is the nuclear option. This is where you go when you have exhausted all other possibilities. But for thousands of people, it is the only home they have, and they defend it fiercely. Number 1. Quartzsite, Arizona. This is it, the Holy Grail, the mecca of the rubber tramp ecosystem. Quartzsite is a tiny town of a few thousand people that swells to over 1 million in January and February. Why? Because surrounded by the town is vast BLM, Bureau of Land Management desert land. In the long-term visitor areas, specifically La Posa South and Tyson Wash, you can buy a permit for $180 that lets you park your RV for 7 months. Let me repeat that. $180 for 7 months of rent. That is roughly $25 a month. That is the cheapest rent in the developed world. There are water stations and dump stations on site included in your permit. You drive your rig up to the station, dump your tanks, fill your water, and drive back to your spot in the desert. The town becomes a massive flea market, gem show, and RV show known as the Big Tent. You can buy anything here, from solar panels to dried jerky. You can find community here. Every interest group, from solo women travelers to ham radio operators to nudists, has a designated camp circle in the desert. You will never feel lonely here. The catch is the dust. You will breathe dust, eat dust, and sleep in dust. It gets into your electronics, your nose, and your food. It is primitive living. You are boondocking. You rely on your solar panels and your batteries. If you need to run a generator, you are listening to the drone of engines all night. It is crowded in the winter. You might have a neighbor parked 10 feet away from you in the middle of nowhere. And in April, the switch flips. The heat comes in like a hammer, and everyone flees. The town turns back into a ghost town. But for the winter season, Quartzsite is the single greatest economic lifesaver for the American RVer. It is the place where you can reset your bank account, fix your rig, and realize that you are not alone in this struggle. So there you have it, 10 places where the pavement ends and the freedom begins. Living in a vehicle isn't giving up. It's a strategic retreat. It's trading square footage for mobility. It's realizing that if you don't like your neighbors, or you don't like the weather, or you don't like the local politics, you can just turn the key and leave. That is a power that the guy with the mansion doesn't have. Which one of these nomadic strongholds appeals to you? Are you braving the anarchy of Slab City or the golf courses of Crossville? Let me know in the comments. And if you're watching this from a Walmart parking lot using free Wi-Fi, hit that like button. You're my people. Safe travels, and I'll see you down the road.